Welcome to the real life show, Living with a Chronic Illness. We are your hosts, Cassie and Chelsea. I'm Cassie, a single mom living with a chronic illness who is extremely passionate about living a full and happy life.
And I'm Chelsea, a mindset coach that has a passion for helping people learn to put themselves first and be the best version of themselves each and every day.
We came together to create Spoonies Unite, an uplifting community that offers resources, guidance, and support so you can live your best life while giving you the space to be yourself, be heard, and feel understood. We hope that by providing education from experts, we help Spoonies and their loved ones thrive.
This show is not only for those who live with a chronic illness, but their friends, family, spouses, and just anyone else existing on the earth. Our goal is to normalizing having a chronic illness by sharing the real stories with real people and show the world how relatable those everyday struggles can be. There's a little something in here for everyone.
And of course, thank you to our patrons for your continued support making this possible. If you love our show and want to get some extra goodies, go to patreon.com/TheRealSpooniesUnite. Enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of The Real Life Show, Living with a Chronic Illness. Today, Cassie and I are talking about day 6 of our Mastering Energy Management 21-day workbook that you've been following along with us on. And I really like today's question, our daily question. So of course you have your things you do every single day, but the specific question for day 6 is, what do you feel like has the biggest impact on your energy each day and why? All right. And so there might be a couple things within this question that you might come up with answers. Like I mentioned earlier that drinking water makes a big difference, not teaching over a certain number. But I would have to say for me, the thing that makes the biggest difference is sleep. Mm-hmm. I think that's the biggest thing for me. Because if I get a good night's sleep, I just can handle whatever life throws at me so much better. And if I just don't get a good night's sleep, I feel like shit. I really, truly do. And so as I'm saying all this, I'm thinking that I really need to start prioritizing my bedtime a lot more than I have been recently. I used to have a really good rule that when 10 o'clock hit, I would turn off my TV and I would start getting ready for bed and I would go read and go to sleep. And I really haven't been doing that. I've been staying on my couch watching The Office or whatever else we're watching on TV that night until, well, I end up falling asleep on the couch, let's be honest. And then I wake up at like 11:30, 12. And then by the time I go to bed, I'm like awake and it's harder for me. Yeah. Anyways, maybe I'm going to start doing that a little bit better. I think that would be good since apparently sleep is one of the biggest factors, if not the biggest factors on my energy. What about you, Cassie?
Yeah, I concur. Yeah. Friggin' sleep is huge. And I have definitely struggled with sleep like off and on for actually, if I'm totally honest, for like the last 10 years. But over the coronavirus shutdown, I did a lot better at sleeping because for the first time in 10 years, I was able to sleep in. My son is turning 12 in a couple weeks. And so he can wake up and kind of like watch YouTube for a bit in the morning or, get himself breakfast if needs be. And so for the first time since he was born, and then before that, before I was pregnant and when I was single and, not a mother, like I had a job I had to show up for every day too. And then since then it's been either getting up for school, or, having a toddler who wakes up early or getting up for school or getting up for work. And so it's the first time in 10 years that I could like sleep in, and I started sleeping like 10, 11, 12 hours a night, which was completely unheard of for me. But holy shit, my days were so much more productive. I couldn't believe it actually. And then when I started like making myself feel guilty because I was like sleeping so much, I was like, I need to get up at 8, and I would set an alarm. And I would, or 7 or 6, several days a week, I have to get up at like 6:30 to teach. And so some days I was sleeping till 10, some days I was getting up at 6:30, which my poor little circadian clock was like, what the F is going on? And on those days I had to get up early. I mean, I was done at like 1:00 in the afternoon for basically the rest of the day or the evening. So I totally agree. Sleep is huge. And I was doing really well during that shutdown of like, kind of like lights out, you know, or reading my Kindle for a bit, really winding down at night and in bed. And I've talked about that in our interviews previously. But the last like 2 to 3 weeks, my son, he was in Montana for 2 weeks. And so he was on like mountain time, an hour back. So he wasn't wanting to go to sleep till like 11:00 at night, which is unlike him. And then I wasn't going to sleep till 11 or midnight. I got totally thrown off. Then I started watching this freaking show called Love Island UK on Hulu. And it is like total, you know, trash reality show TV, but oh my God, it is so funny and it is so good. And I was totally addicted to it. There's 34 episodes in season 1. Like, how are you supposed to get through and commit to your binging for 34 episodes in one season? So anyway, I was staying up until like midnight almost every night watching freaking Love Island because I was addicted to it. And then I finished it this weekend and I was like, I got to go to bed. And then literally since I finished it, I was going to bed at like 10:30, feeling better all day. And then last night I was like, obviously I should start season 2, you know, which I've done. But so anyway, it's important for you to reflect, like Chelsea said, she's been watching TV, falling asleep on the couch. Like that obviously is not the best choice for her body. She knows it. We're not saying you have to be like this super rigid, strict, disciplined person, but do look at what is like helping you and not helping me. And for example, I know that me binge watching 2 to 3 episodes a night, staying up till midnight, is not a good choice for me. But I did it anyway for a couple of weeks. Now I'm trying to do better. And I ended up sleeping actually really well last night because Chelsea and I have had a long day today. We have still several hours of work to do and freaking feeling pretty good. So yeah, I would say sleep was also like biggest factor. And I also put down on mine that I think is important to say is choosing poor timing for tasks. So like, I really noticed that I was picking really bad times to do things. Like if I'm exhausted, why have I decided I'm going to like go to the store, get ingredients and make dinner tonight? What I really should say is fuck it and pick up something from Whole Foods that I can just throw in to warm up. Takeout. Yeah. So that was kind of an interesting one that I would like for all of you to possibly think about, like, how is your timing, you know, or it's like, I would be exhausted and like beating myself up. Like I've been really unproductive and didn't get the things done I wanted to get done for like a few days. So, you know, even though I've already worked like 9 hours today, obviously now is the time that I should be like editing all of our podcast episodes. It's like, no, obviously not, you know, save it for another day. So I think that's an interesting and important one. Yeah, choosing poor timing for tasks.
Yeah. And I think one thing I want to mention here is this is not about being perfect all the time. Because yeah, there are going to be times when you're like, shit, I have done a bad job lately at whatever. And that's okay. Like, I'm not going to sit here and beat myself up about the fact that I've been staying up a little bit later than I should, letting myself fall asleep on the couch. Like, that's okay. It's more about observing the patterns in your behavior and being able to make better choices for the future. So there's no guilt associated with this at all. Drop the fucking guilt.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
Yeah, we do not give you permission to like self-punish right now.
That's not what this is about. And then it's about using that information to make potentially better decisions going forward. So yeah, for tonight, I'll be sitting there at like 10 o'clock and I'll be like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. And I'll be, there's a chance, actually there's a really good chance. My brain is going to go, you can watch 1 or 2 more episodes. It's fine. The Office is only 20 minutes.
I know, that's the worst, isn't it?
Yeah. And then I'd fall asleep and it just would be a mess. And so I can consciously make a choice of, you know what? Maybe I should just go watch The Office in bed. And I actually have started kind of doing that of like, oh, well, if I'm going to watch The Office, I may as well do it in bed versus on the couch. And most of the time, by the time I get myself in bed, even if I'm like, I'm going to watch The Office, I'm like, actually, I'd rather just read.
Yeah. See, that's important too. And I'm really glad that you said like no guilt and stuff, because those 2 weeks where I watched Love Island every night, it only took me like 10 days or 2 weeks to get through 34 episodes, people. And I'm not fucking ashamed of it. But
sometimes you need to just like watch mindless television.
Exactly.
And just take a break from your routines. That's okay.
Totally. It was kind of like, it wasn't the right choice for like my sleep habits, but it was the right choice for my mental health because I needed to just check out and like watch reality TV. So it's kind of one of those things that it's like, yeah, we do not give you permission to self-punish and self-deprecate. So get off of that train if you're trying to hitch a ride on it.
Yep. So,
okay.
Anyways, if you have questions, if you want to share your wins with us, things that you've learned, breakthroughs you've had, please reach out to us. You can tag us on Instagram at The Real Spoonies Unite, or send us a message on our email, hello@therealspooniesunite.com. And we will be in your ears tomorrow.
Yeah. And if you're struggling with stuff too, if it's not success you want to share, reach out with your struggles. We'll help you with those too.
Yep. That too. We are here
Okay. Talk to you
help.
tomorrow.
Okay. See you for day 7.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please write us a review to help us reach more people like you.
If you'd like to connect with Cassie and I, you can find us on Instagram at The Real Spoonies Unite. You can also join our private Facebook community, Spoonies Unite, or you can visit our website, therealspooniesunite.com, for all sorts of resources and to stay up to date with our current projects. And don't worry, you can find all of these links in the show notes below.
Thank you to our wonderful Spoonie patrons for all your support, and you can become one too. That's right. All you have to do is go on over to patreon.com/therealspooniesunite, and you can get all sorts of extra goodies like videos of our episodes and more.
Any support is greatly appreciated. It helps enable us to create more content for all of you, as well as make this podcast sound better and better. Thanks for listening. We can't wait to be back in your ears soon.